Alright. 10 times YouTubers messed with the wrong person by Crime Dynasty. I saw Logan Paul on the thumbnail, so, let's have a look at this.
Today, everybody, we have 10 YouTubers who messed with the wrong people, starting with YouTuber Rosanna Pansino, who tried canceling Mr.
Rosanna Panzino? Never heard of her, trying to cancel Mr. Beast? This shall be interesting.
Beast, but ended up getting canceled herself. You see, back in October 2023,
is that a chick? Is that the chick crashing out over, the Lunchley thing?
Internet turned on Pansino after she accused Mr. Beast of unfairly editing her in one of his videos. As we all know, Mr. Beast, aka Jimmy
Okay, unfairly editing her. I think she would also in on the Lunchley thing.
Donaldson has had several massive challenges as part of his Creator Games events. Now, one was a stadium-wide game of hide-and-seek, featuring 10 of YouTube's biggest creators, titled Extreme $1 Million Hide-and-Seek. Now, Rosanna, with 14.5 million subs, was amongst the contestants. She's best known for her lifestyle content covering baking and trying on costumes. And in that Mr. Beast video, Rosanna was eliminated early on, but she claimed she performed way better than was portrayed. October 27th, 2020.
Oh, interesting. Out of malice, huh? Out of malice for losing early on. Again, I don't know, with the Mr. Beast videos, are they staged? Are they not staged? I cannot tell. I don't know. I would like to know. Some of them might actually be.
23. Pansino posted a now deleted statement to X where she claimed she actually came in third, even though the video showed Logan Paul, Larray, and Zach King being the top three. She brought this up a day before on Trisha Paytas' podcast, but she said she was afraid to raise up the issue, given Mr. Beast's fan base can be quite toxic in defending him. Now, we all know Mr. Beast is the #1 YouTuber in the world and has the second most subscribed channel.
I do not consider him a YouTuber. He's a brand. Like, it's a difference between a guy making videos and streams and having some editors, and it's a guy basically running probably multi-million-dollar business. And he's basically on the same level as T-Series, to me. I'm against Mr. Beast in general. I don't really care about the dude particularly. I'm just like, okay, he exists.
On the platform with 250 million subscribers. But for the first time, people were quick to assume that Mr. Beast's videos were faked and not authentic or real, especially after Pansino posted screenshots of her conversation with him where he was asking for her numbers so they could work things out. At this point, people showed Pansino support and called out Mr. Beast to make things right. And just when it kind of looked like Mr. Beast was going to get canceled, the entire story flipped when Pansino made one wrong move. In the days that followed, she continued to drag the situation, posting things like,
"I was scared to tell my story for a long time because of how much hate others have gotten in the past for speaking up about their own experiences. In the hours since posting my story, I've received at least 3 other messages from female creators who have had similar experiences with Mr. Beast and those around him."
At this point, Pansino was looking like a...
Okay. Let me guess. She did not post any of the 3 messages that she received from other female creators. She didn't receive nothing. She didn't have anything, and she was just dragging it. Well, first she had to even prove, because remember, the proof is on her. She has to prove that she was portrayed badly, not Mr. Beast. But yeah, that's besides the point. Did Mr. Beast become the first YouTuber to become a billionaire recently? I have no idea. Probably, it would make sense of how much money the dude makes.
Victim for an issue as small as unfair gameplay, and other YouTubers began calling her out on it. Some would question why Pansino brought up the issue almost 2 years after the video was published, while others began questioning the accuracy of Pansino's claims, and even asked her to provide evidence, bringing us to October 29th, 2023, where Pansino deletes all the posts and apologizes to Mr. Beast, who hadn't discussed the matter in public at all. She claimed to have received multiple death threats since posting those statements, but also stood her ground on some of the criticism she made. Nonetheless, the case of Jake Paul was...
For me, this is very simple. A cloud goblin. A little cloud goblin. Nothing more to it. Nothing more to it. And also, I feel like I'm less inclined to believe somebody if between what happened and when you actually tell it, when there's like years in between, because then it feels like, why did you just share this right now? It feels like kind of, like I said, kind of fishy and odd. But again, some people are scared. It might not always apply, of course. But I don't know. That's just me. Evidence, trust me, bro. None. Zero.
Wasn't so different, even though Jake never apologized for blatantly lying false claims on fellow YouTuber FaZe Banks. Back in August 2017, Jake Paul posted a YouTube video titled "My Assistant Was Assaulted," where he and members of the music group Team 10 accused Alyssa Violet's new boyfriend, FaZe Banks, of assaulting Jake's assistant, Meg, at a club in LA called Warwick. Now, for context, Alyssa Violet is Jake Paul's ex-girlfriend who was also rumored to have hooked up with his brother Logan, and
I guess they are brothers. I guess they share their girlfriends as well. I guess. I guess. Okay. Bro. I don't know.
And in the video Jake posted, he accused Alyssa's new boyfriend, FaZe Banks, of assaulting his assistant Meg when she was on her way to use the bathroom in said club. Jake claimed that FaZe clotheslined Meg, dragged her, attempted to kiss her, and left a bruise on her neck. And due to his record of stirring up drama on the platform, Jake claimed that he wasn't bringing up these allegations to start drama, but to actually draw people's attention to an important issue of assault. And being so important, it didn't take long for FaZe to respond with a video titled "My Girlfriend Was Assaulted." Now, in this video, FaZe Banks claims that Team 10 was manipulating their followers and lying about what went down at Warwick in an attempt to defame him, ruin his career, and break up what he had with Alyssa Violet. He claimed not to remember clotheslining Meg, but he didn't deny the possibility given that he could have been drunk that night. He also said he had already apologized because he didn't think someone would lie about such a serious situation, and also wanted to take responsibility if he did hurt her unintentionally. But then the tables turned on Jake Paul when FaZe brought out Alyssa Violet to tell her story of how Jake assaulted her during their time together. Alyssa,
Bro, Uno reversed! I feel like if you come out with a story, at least have proof. At least, I'm gonna say this actually, this feels more like this feels more like an attempt at character assassination, because why is your first thought when somebody was assaulted to post the video on the internet and not go to the fucking police? Why is that your first fucking thought in your head? I don't get it. Seems fishy. But yeah, why is that your first fucking thought? It is so dumb. It makes you look like a total moron.
claims that Jake would often spit at her, and that while he never hit her, would be so aggressive at points that he inadvertently left her with scars, just like the time he threw her phone away and dragged her down a flight of stairs, leaving her with a permanent knee scar. At the end of the video, FaZe made it known that he would be suing Team 10 and Jake Paul for slander and defamation of character. FaZe followed up with a tweet stating that he had acquired security footage from the club that showed he didn't assault Meg, and at that point the real drama unfolded, with FaZe getting more than 200,000 new subscribers to his channel, while Jake Paul, who had just celebrated hitting his 10 million subscriber milestone, lost over 100,000 subs in less than 24 hours. Jake then posted
Deserved. Celebrating 10 million and then dropping under 10 million again. That must feel horrible. That must feel horrible.
Posted another video where he backtracked his statements by saying he didn't handle the situation properly. Now, losing 100,000 subs could definitely have been detrimental at that point, but for YouTuber Reset, it would have been a better alternative punishment for his actions, rather than getting to spend time in jail. In 2017, Kangwa Ren, known on YouTube as Reset, was at the center of a scandal that shook the online community. Ren's journey to infamy began with a seemingly innocent dare proposed by one of his subscribers to replace the creamy filling of Oreo cookies with toothpaste and offer them to an unsuspecting victim. Ren foolishly accepted that dare, but little did he know it was about to change his life for the worse.
Wait a minute, I didn't catch that. My brain was
and offer them to an unsuspecting victim. Ren foolishly accepted that dare, but little did he know it was about to change his life for the worse. At the time of the incident, Ren had amassed a considerable following on his channel, Reset, making him
just bro fed stuff to people, and bro, nah. What are these ideas? What are these ideas? Why do you feed stuff to people that they shouldn't eat? That's crazy. If you find a victim and publish it on the internet, chances you harm the victim so much further. Well, it can be. It can be. Especially, it depends, right? If you're if the way you publish it is weird or sus or makes it look fishy, then that may harm the victim. If there is an actual victim, it isn't. It's uncommon, but it has happened before that an actual victim made a video and that video backfired because of how badly made it was. So yeah, that can't happen. That can't happen. And in this case, it was just straight up a lie, right? Which, once again, lying about something like that makes it harder for actual victims of abuse to come out. Because people are not going to believe them. It was so pathetic. Did he give them to the homeless? Or am I thinking of another guy? It looked like a homeless person in the previous clip, so I don't know, probably.
One of the most recognizable personalities in both Spain and Latin America. With over 1.1 million subscribers and just 50 videos posted, Ren had established himself as a big name in the YouTube community. Despite being from China, Ren had made Spain his home, residing in the vibrant city of Barcelona with his family. Now, to carry out his depraved prank, he found a Romanian man who lived on the streets and handed
There we have it, a homeless man.
Him the cookies along with a $20 note. After biting the biscuit, the man vomited its content, with Ren catching it all on video. He went on to upload that video to the channel, but the replies weren't exactly what he'd hoped.
Wow! You gave something to somebody to eat, and it was not edible. You film it. The person vomits. And your thought is to upload it and be like, yeah, that's gonna do it. That's gonna give me so much views and people are gonna love it. What is the thought process of some people? What is the thought process of some people thinking that that would go well? It's the same with half-assed apologies. It's the same with other videos. It's just like, bro, think before you post.
They be. The video caused uproar, with Ren receiving multiple backlash for how stupid it was. Like, what was he expecting poisoning the homeless? And in turn, Reset would take down this video and upload a supposed apology video, where he acknowledges his actions went too far, but still went ahead to make fun of the man by saying the toothpaste inside the cookies must have helped him clean his teeth, since he might have not done that while living on the street. I mean, okay, great apology video. And you can bet that this would spark more outrage, making YouTube take it down within a week. Ren would seek out this homeless man, but meet his daughter instead. He gave her 300 euros in persuasion not to take legal action. Unfortunately for him, though, it was too late. Reset was
Base daughter! Absolutely based daughter. Fucking him over and suing him. Absolutely based. Once again, the more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out. And bro found out.
Subsequently arrested and convicted of violating the moral integrity of the homeless man. He was handed 15 months and ordered to pay $22,300.
That's actually a good title for the video. 10 YouTubers that found out
in moral damages. A judge in Barcelona also banned Kangwa Ren from having any social media accounts for the next 5 years. But as deserving as that may sound, no records show that Reset actually served that jail time. A Spanish law tends to suspend short prison sentences for first-time offenders. And speaking of laws, FaZe K and a few other dudes took the law into their own hands by beating the living daylight out of fellow YouTuber Rage Stew for trespassing. You see, back in August 2017, YouTuber Rage Stew filmed a live stream of himself literally breaking the law and
okay. Like, if you trespass and something happens to you, that's kinda your own fault. But at the same time, I feel like there is a appropriate amount of force to get rid of the trespasser. And beating the crap out of somebody probably isn't. Except if they're an actual danger, I guess. Then I guess. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where he actually went.
And low-key bragging about it by trespassing on a private property with the goal of breaking into YouTuber RiceGum's house. Now keep in mind that Rage Stew already broke into Jake Paul's Team 10 house earlier that year, but maybe since Paul didn't really do much about it, he tried going at it again for views. However, this time...
Okay, then it's your own fault. Then it's your own fault. Okay, never mind. Never mind. I kind of feel like that's his fault. If that's what you do, and you break into people's homes, imagine they don't know you. They don't know who you are. And then they beat the crap out of you. Because they think you're actually somebody who's about to do something bad. Like an actual home intruder. Yeah, good luck. That's your own fault.
Time things didn't go quite the way he wanted. So this man would open the gates and actually jump onto the property. And soon, FaZe K and a few other people would approach Rage Stew and ask what the heck he was doing. Some kind of scuffle broke out, though we couldn't see anything on camera, and Rage Stew was ultimately apprehended and beaten up. He managed to escape, and it took a freaking police chopper to find and arrest him after cops were called on him. Now let's be honest, this should have been an open and shut case, right? Wrong. Rage Stew shared pics of his bruises online and alleged that FaZe K and his people beat him up and stole stuff from him. FaZe K would then make a video explaining what really went down and how he didn't lay a finger on Rage Stew. That story's a hard one to decipher, but the case of Sneeko didn't really need convincing.
Lord Cuck himself! Sneeko! Well, who would have expected that this guy was in here? But yeah, so we don't get a conclusion to the ending of the guy trespassing, but yeah, let's see what Lord Cuckward has to say.
How do you go from being one of the most loved YouTubers out there to being permanently banned from the platform and getting hate from everybody around the world? Well, let's ask Sneeko. You see, way back during his days on YouTube, Sneeko was really active in the gaming community before he switched to commentary with his popular series known as Internet Rant. He would eventually get into motivational content with many different topics relating to life. And at that time, his most famous video was Would You Say the N-Word for $1? Where he went around the street doing this interview with random
for $1? Nah. For like 100K, I'd do it. But nah. Not for a fucking dollar. Wow. I can do so much with $1. Well, back in 2014, a hamburger at McDonald's costed €1. I don't know if that would have been worth it for a hamburger.
Strangers and asking them if they would say that N-word for $1. However, after achieving a good level of success with that video, Sneeko went on to create a second channel where he aired his controversial opinions. On this channel, Sneeko expressed his opposing views on subjects such as feminism and beliefs perceived as woke. He also supported conspiracy theories, heavily inspired by controversial figures like Andrew Tate and Kanye Ye West, and they—
Oh, nah. Oh, what did bro say? What did bro say? Like, I don't follow all the things he says. I know some things where I'm like, bro, ain't no way. But, those aren't exactly people you should listen to and share opinions with. Of course, even a broken clock is, right twice a day, but those aren't just broken clocks.
They both led to his channels getting banned from YouTube, even though his first channel hadn't really received any strikes. Now, one of his most notable controversies arose when he voiced support for the French film Cuties, which—
What the fuck? Never mind! What the heck? That was a jump scare, oh my god. What the actual fuck? Yeah, get this guy out of here. Never mind. Get this dude out of here. That was another reason not to forgive the French. This movie is softcore childcore. It took ages, it feels like, for Netflix to nuke that movie off their platform. The French.
Prominently depicted young twerking sexual situations. Despite Sneako's insistence that this movie wasn't sexualizing girls, the majority of social media disagreed. His stance on the matter even managed to draw some backlash from Beast, indicating just how much out of touch he was. This man needed a reality check, and it turned out UFC middleweight champion Sean Strickland was going to be the man to deliver it. They met each other up in Las Vegas at this event, where Sneako volunteered to spar with Strickland the following day. Now this
Oh, babes, that's so good to Roblox still. No, Pyro, don't do it! They're just blogs!
was supposed to be a sparring session, but it looked like an actual fight. Despite all the white towels being thrown in, signaling to stop, Strickland pressed on with his attacks. Initially, he seemed to toy with Sneako, making patronizing remarks about the influencer's toughness. But when that initial grace period was over, Strickland unleashed a relentless assault, using diverse combat skills to inflict significant damage on Sneako. Their confrontation was captured in its entirety on Sneako's Rumble channel, garnering widespread attention to YouTube. The comment section exploded with praises for Strickland, applauding him for putting Sneako in his place. But unlike Sneako, who dared to enter the cage with a UFC fighter, YouTuber Catch Me Killer wouldn't mess with a fellow
Based. Based for beating the crap out of this dude. So based.
YouTuber or a fighter. He messed with the cops. February 2009, Andrew Scott Haley, aka Catch Me Killer, posted a video on YouTube in which he claimed to have killed 16 people, one of whom was a former South Georgia beauty queen who had been missing.
What the fuck? Whoa, that went from beating up a moron to, this real quick. What, that went oddly dark.
Since 2005. In this elaborate hoax, he distorted his voice and face and played the part of a serial killer, giving clues in a purported attempt to have the public catch him. And even more disturbingly, he referenced real-life disappearances of young girls and claimed to have information and graphic details about what really happened to him. For context, Haley was just a 26-year-old roofer at the time with a hunch for fame. And at the end of this bizarre YouTube video, he posted,
"Who is she? What does she do? You answer me this, and I will give you her body." She was still wearing her favorite pair of jeans, but not her beauty queen silk.
Although he didn't mention her by name, investigators knew Haley was referring to 30-year-old Tara Grinstead, a former beauty queen who was a school teacher when she disappeared from her Osceola home in 2005. He claimed to also have information about Jennifer Kess, an Orlando woman who disappeared in 2006. Her father found out about this video and got law enforcement involved. The only problem was the victims were real, but the stories in Catch Me Killer's attachment to them were not. And despite trying to disguise his identity,
Not gonna lie, if you do this, if you do something like that, I'm gonna straight up say jail. No fine, no nothing. At least 3 years. Straight up. At least 3 years.
Authorities eventually tracked the IP address of a video posted by Haley after questioning him and realizing conclusively that he had no real knowledge of the crimes in question, or any murders for that matter. They arrested him on charges of tampering with evidence and making false statements. He pled not guilty, was tried, and found guilty on both charges. Consequently, he was given 2 years in a work release program, even though his lawyer insisted his actions were creepy but not criminal. However, after he got out, Haley challenged his initial charge of making false statements. He insisted the charge didn't apply to him because the law doesn't distinguish between a false statement and a fraudulent one, and that, while he admitted the video was wrong, he believed his First Amendment right to free speech was trampled during his trial. He would further argue that he never made any false statements directly to authorities because once they tracked him down, he admitted in full that his video was just part of a game. But to counter his ridiculous claims, one spokesperson for law enforcement said,
"You make these kind of statements and we can't ignore them. We spent a lot of agent hours tracking all this down. It distracted agents from..."
Of course, because it takes resources that could be used to solve these cases, that could be used to solve other cases. You're actively taking resources. That is a huge problem. That is a huge problem. And that has been a huge problem for many, many topics. Where people sent stuff to the FBI that has nothing. That is not a crime. So people have to look through it and actually waste time.
Following substantial leads.
Eventually, the Georgia Supreme Court did in fact agree that there was no evidence Haley directly tampered with any criminal evidence, but they upheld the false statements charge. And speaking of evidence, YouTuber Keemster didn't seek any of it before blaming and
Oh, is that the one where he blames that one old man, like, of being a PDF when he was not? Is that the one?
putting to shame an innocent man he believed to be a pedophile. In
There we have it. Yeah, there we have it.
turn, though, he did face the consequences. For those unfamiliar here, Keemster, real name Daniel Keem, was the host of Drama Alert, an entertainment and gossip show covering happenings in the video game and YouTube community. Keemster would get famous trolling Halo 3 players in a game match that went viral. And when I say viral, I'm talking about 2009 standards. From there, though, Keemster became a divisive figure on YouTube. He would encourage his viewers to write racial slurs in his comments, proclaim that he hated
Bro, the 2010s, the 2010s were different. They were just built different.
his fan base, and even inspired YouTubers to make videos compiling his rudest, meanest moments. This man was hated, but the success of his channel was proof that there was a market for this type of news, and his worst moment was arguably the time he accused an innocent man of pedophilia. We take you to January 2016, where Keem discovers that a man named John Phillips had been suspected of pedophilia and had targeted a minor via the online video game RuneScape. In a confusing act of unqualified journalism, Keem declared that he had found the man on Twitch, a 62-year-old going by the name Toby, and what ensued would be hysteria to find this man and expose him, with Keem even declaring on air that Toby was the alleged pedophile. However, he was entirely wrong. The real John Phillips had already
Yeah, he was completely wrong. It was just a random dude playing RuneScape. A lot of people did support the man. Problem is that this old dude essentially just started milking the situation, which made him look bad, as you can probably assume, as he tried to extort Keemstar of money. Well, more money than I think he was financially compensated. I could be wrong.
been arrested and was serving his sentence. Now, the backlash against Keem was immense, and his apology video was nowhere near enough to soften the blow of what he'd done to an innocent man. I mean, this was a man in his 60s. We can only imagine the amount of shame he must have felt within. This would push big YouTubers, mostly in the video game scene, to either troll Keemster or speak up about his kind of content. And these YouTubers would include PewDiePie, iDubbbz, Leafy is here.
Okay, we got PewDiePie, iCugs when he wasn't castrated, but yeah, Pyrocynical as well.
Pyrocynical, Jack Films, and Grade A Under A, who would start a petition to get Keemster canceled. Now, their petition went so viral that Keemster had to take about 2 weeks off of hosting his own show. And during
Damn, I didn't know that that this led to a petition to get Keemstar kicked out. Interesting. I did not know that. That's new information. Okay, okay.
During that period, thousands upon thousands of people unsubscribed from Drama Alert. And maybe it was unfair for the community to ask Keemster to behave like a professional journalist when he clearly wasn't one, and expressed no desire to even be one. Maybe same way controversial to YouTuber
I'd say in a situation like this, if you fuck up, just correct it. A video correcting it, sending some people, sending some love is important if you fuck up like that, if you spread false information like that. There's plenty of people who just run with a narrative and don't change anything about what they say. They don't apologize, and if they do, it's like in the comment section where they have a post pinned, or in the description where they have an update on the situation. Yeah, because so many people look into the comments or read the YouTube description. The video description, definitely.
Jeffree Star, who expressed his dislike for Kim Kardashian's makeup swatches and got bashed by her fans. Jeffree has been embroiled in controversy with the Kardashians many times, from his on and off relationship with Kylie's makeup brand to his public dispute with Kim Kardashian and rumors of a relationship with Kanye West. You see, way back in 2017, Jeffree
What?
controversy with the Kardashians many times, from his on and off relationship with Kylie's makeup brand to his public dispute with Kim Kardashian and rumors of a relationship with Kanye West.
Wait, Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, or Jeffree and Kanye West? That doesn't really. Okay.
You see, way back in 2017, Jeffree met up with Kim at her beauty brand's launch party, and he uploaded a photo with her to his Instagram. Everyone assumed that they were cool, especially when he posted a positive YouTube review of Kim's products the next day. In that review, he said he met Kim at her home and the launch party to learn about the products. He expressed admiration for Kim and her entrepreneurial spirit. However, just 2 months later, this supposed love for Kim vanished. August 15th, 2017, Kim Kardashian takes to Instagram with swatches of her new powder contour kit. At the time, many of her fans and even makeup artists teased her about the splotchy line she drew across her arm. It wasn't anything serious, but Jeffree Star used the opportunity to, do his thing. In a now deleted tweet, Star shared a screenshot of Kim.
Bro saw the opportunity and used the domain expansion, Cloud Goblin.
Kim's Instagram story and wrote,
Kim, what's going on with those new swatches? Looks like chalk.
The single tweet got Star more backlash than he probably had ever received throughout his life. And here's the thing. At first, Kim seemed to take his comment in good faith and even asked her fans on Instagram and Snapchat to stop sending Star hate comments for calling her out. She said,
I googled. Apparently, there's actual rumors of Kanye West and Jeffree. What the fuck? What, bro? Well, it is what it is.
and I quote,
I see that my fans are totally hating on someone like Jeffree Star for being honest about my struggle swatches. But because of his remarks, I'm learning from the best, like from Mario, how to swatch properly. And I see you being so petty, bringing up things in his past where he was negative, but he's also apologized for those things. I get it's a serious deal if you say racial things, but I do believe in people changing and people that apologize. I will give them the benefit of the doubt and accept that people change and move on.
I don't do that. If you change, I need to see that change. Like, I don't want to hear it. I need to see it. I need actions. If you change, I need actions, not words. Words are useless. What do you think of my request video? It was good, it was good, it was good. A lot of information I did not know. Yeah.
Regardless, Jeffree felt the heat, as he claimed almost every media outlet in the world tried contacting him to get a reaction, while hundreds of Kim's fans reported to cancel his social media pages. But this wouldn't stop Jeffree from going on a full rampage on Kim's other products and even Kylie's makeup brushes in subsequent YouTube videos. I mean, it's quite impossible to cancel someone like Star. But the same can't be said about Tanner Cook, who, well,
Tanner Cook? That name does sound familiar.
Got himself canceled for messing with a 31-year-old man named Alan W. Coley. April 2nd, 2023, Cook found himself in a harrowing situation at a Virginia mall after attempting what he deemed a simple practical joke on a man who was not amused by his antics. Tanner Cook's a member of Classified Goons, a group known for their humorous yet sometimes controversial pranks showcased on TikTok and YouTube. They've garnered millions of views for their antics, and while their content appeals to a specific audience on YouTube, it didn't sit well with a 31-year-old named Alan W. Coley. The ill-fated prank involved Cook using Google Translate to convey the phrase, "I think you smell," to Coley, who was simply picking up a DoorDash order at the mall. Now, despite Coley's repeated requests for Cook to leave him alone and even swatting the phone away, Cook persisted in his close proximity, prompting Coley to draw out his gun and shoot this guy
What the fuck? That escalated quickly. What the heck?
in the abs. Swiftly after, witnesses
What the actual fuck? Bro, I loved Jeffree a few years ago. Yeah, essentially he was just picking beef with other Somebody else's beauty brand. Bro, what the fuck? Dude just said, yeah, fuck him, I'll shoot you. That's crazy. That is wild. That is wild. Only in the USA.
Services alerted authorities, leading to Coley's arrest merely 3 minutes later. Cook was rushed to the hospital for emergency surgery, and to his luck, he survived. An investigation would show that this wasn't Cook's first instance of seemingly harassing individuals for prank content. Cook's online presence featured videos of him simulating vomiting on ride-sharing drivers and even trespassing behind fast food restaurant counters. Meanwhile, it was discovered that Coley had a prior encounter with the law back in 2012, when he was charged with assault and battery for allegedly striking his father during a minor altercation. However, the case was dismissed and settled out of court. As legal proceedings unfolded, Cook faced potential separate charges, as video evidence showed him trailing Coley around the mall. On the other hand, Coley was facing charges of aggravated malicious wounding, shooting in the commission of a felony, and discharging a firearm within an occupied building. However, the trial took a surprising turn when Coley was acquitted. During that trial, Coley claimed self-defense, with his lawyer arguing that Cook—
I mean, was it self-defense? Probably. Should it have been to that degree? Was it necessary to shoot the dude? Like, let's just literally point the gun at him. You didn't need to shoot him, just point the gun at him. That would have already probably been enough for him to retreat. I don't know if I think that was overkill, literally.
Cook's behavior was menacing. The prosecution contended that the shooting didn't meet the criteria for self-defense, emphasizing that the prank, while bizarre, wasn't threatening. After struggling to reach a unanimous verdict, the jury ultimately found Coley not guilty on all charges, supporting his claim of self-defense. As a result, Coley walks free today. Unfortunately, though, the same can't be said about YouTuber Timothy Wilkes, who attempted a—
Never heard of the dude. A punch probably would have been sufficient. Nah, not punch. I would have just I think just pointing it at him would have been enough. Because like a punch, that would have probably been too much again. Because then, you know, I guess it would have still been kind of the self-defense. But yeah, it was just in general too much violence here.
Similarly bizarre prank on a stranger, but in his case, ended up dead. February 5th, 2021, 20-year-old Timothy Wilkes was shot dead, attempting a robbery prank on a group of men in Nashville, Tennessee. At 9:30 p.m. on the night of the incident, Timothy and his friend—
Yeah, go ahead. Do it at night. Go ahead. Do a robbery prank at night. See what happens. See what happens.
Armed themselves with butcher knives to film prank robbery videos. Their plan was to record people's reactions being held at knife point. Not sure who came up with this idea, but they went with it. They chose the urban air trampoline.
Who is the— No, yeah, actually, good question. Who's the retard that came up with that? Bro, these people are so dumb. These people are so fucking dumb.
And adventure park parking lot as the scene for their fake crime. And once there, they spotted a group of men to initiate their prank on. So walking up to these guys with their knives, they find 23-year-old David Starnes Jr., who was armed with a gun. Unaware that the situation was part of a prank, obviously, Starnes felt threatened and fatally shot Timothy on the spot, allowing his friend to escape unharmed. When Tim's camera crew later showed David that it was all a prank, he stayed behind while his group fled, expecting the police to arrive. Moments later, they did arrive, finding Starnes with the murder weapon and Timothy being attended by emergency services. During questioning, Starnes claimed self-defense, stating that he was unaware about this whole prank. Now, he was arrested and charged with murder, but the fact that he stayed behind and waited for the cops to turn himself in showed that there was maybe some innocence to his actions. A lawyer speaking on his behalf stated in court,
I'm sure the people involved would like to characterize this as a prank, but it certainly seems to be a prank that went seriously awry.
Sorry, why are you doing this in these really escalate? I mean, gun laws, guns. Guns are right there. It's not a prank if you actually hold them at knife point. What the fuck? Well, fuck around and find out. That's what it is.
Now, this explanation was sufficient to dispute any potential charges against Starnes, especially considering past incidents of similar botched YouTube pranks, like in the case of Mona Lisa Perez back in 2017, who fatally shot her boyfriend. Another similar case occurred in 2020.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Deep in my mind, I remember this. I heard this when this happened. When she accidentally shot her boyfriend. These people don't... Guns are not toys. Guns are not toys. Dude.
Involving teens playing a prank on one of their mothers. As investigations unfolded, the charges against David Starnes Jr. were dropped. However, Timothy's friend, the accomplice in the prank, was expected to face legal repercussions for his involvement. He hasn't been charged or even identified. But Timothy's death, just like many other YouTubers who have gotten harmed in the process of messing with people for YouTube videos, need a constant reminder that, in life, you never really know who you're messing with.
For real. That's the end of the video. That was crazy. This is just, this is just, in my opinion, absolutely redonkulous. The fact that, people can just do pranks and get shot. People just make really bad decisions and get punished. I feel like a lot of these people, I mean, a lot of those were actually deserved, not gonna lie. I mean, the Jeffree Star one, yeah, who cares? But in general... it's interesting to see. This is just 10 times YouTubers found out. It really is. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe.